Here we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to begin this morning by telling you about an experience that I recently had. There we go. So back in March, our congregation started a Prosperity Plus series. And during that process, we were invited to look within and see what was wanting to be birthed, what kind of desires of our heart that we had. And we were asked to look over, all different areas of our life and to write them down. And one of the things that I longed for, that I would love to have in my experience, was a family reunion. It's been a number of years since all of my children and grandchildren that we've all been back together. So I just longed and really wanted to have that experience. But I didn't think that this was really the summer to do it. I felt like, if I say we're going to have a family reunion, I'm going to have to pay for it. And my mind started chattering about all these things that would have to unfold for that to be able to come about. But I wrote it down, and I just felt how exciting and how wonderful that would be. And I knew that someday we would have our family reunion. Well, we did have it, and we had it since I was with you last. And I wanted to tell you how it unfolded. It was pretty amazing. So back, I think it was the end of March, I was talking to my oldest daughter, Allison, and she said that Sunday, she and her daughter had played together. They had done the music for their service in Idaho. And I just felt my heart opening, and I just said, oh, I would love it if you and your daughter, your children, all of them, could come and do the music for us up in North Kitsap sometime. And I said, if you ever think it's going to be possible, and she has 4 children, if it's ever possible for you to come up, I'll let me know, and I'll arrange that you guys can do the music for us. I would love that. And so a few weeks later, she called me back, and she said that she could, that there was actually a week in July that she would be able to bring the children and do the music. So we got her scheduled, and that happened a couple of weeks ago. And then my second daughter, Jessica, learned that Allison was going to be coming up, and she's like, I'm going to be taking my girls to a camp in Oregon, and this is for violin and cello. It's a Zuki camp, and we'll just drive up. I want to be there when Allison is there with the kids. And I'm like, great, that's going to be wonderful. And then my third daughter found out, and she's like, well, if you guys are going to be there, then I want to be there too. So she lives in Colorado, but she arranged to drive out, and she had family every 4 to 5 hours along the way that she could stop and spend time with. And then my son already lives in the area. So then they realized that everybody was going to be together. So the husbands are like, well, we'll fly out. There'll be a few days, and so we'll fly out too. And then my parents, found out. So it just kind of unfolded naturally and organically that everyone was able to come. And so the event comes, and Dave and I had been really busy. We had did a conference in Florida, and just a lot of things going on. And so I didn't really get to clean like I wanted to, and I didn't get to just sit down and prepare. I didn't have time to prepare. Normally I would want to have a list of food and a menu and what we were going to do, and I just couldn't do that. I just did what I could do. And so the day that they started arriving, and so we had 10 grandchildren, ages 10 months to 11. And then we had these 6 adults, including Dave and I and my son, all in our home together. And they were actually there for 10 days. And so what I discovered is that I had to live in the moment. I had to just be present and live in the moment. I couldn't worry about the past. I couldn't think about what was going to be for dinner. that the energy and the activity completely absorbed me, and I believe that my mind gave up. And so I just had to be present for the moment. And what I discovered is that everything unfolded organically and naturally. So I would just start thinking, I think I'll start making a macaroni salad. And then another daughter would think, I think I'll make this. And somebody would be out and they would just stop and pick up chicken or something. But every single meal happened. And it was beautiful. And it happened at the right time. And we didn't stress and we didn't have to plan or worry about it. So the whole 10 days was absolutely wonderful. I mean, we had children swinging literally from banisters and lots of wild activity. And on the roof, Dave reminded me of the boys. But we had so much fun. The house was a whirlwind. It was a disaster, but it didn't take us very long to clean it up. There's still a few places that need some paint, but so it was so fun. So as I thought about this experience, I realized that this was a paradigm changer for me. It really changed and reinforced what I intellectually believed, but it changed at a gut level how I operate and move with all that is. And I know that there is a higher power and presence that's active that we can tune into. So we live in a universe that is absolutely, positively designed to support and encourage an expansive way of life. An expansive way of life. In fact, expansion, so growth and expansion, is inherent in our being. Life wants to grow and it wants to expand. And there are a couple of more qualities that are inherent in all life, and those are light and harmony. So we say that when the vibration of expansion is being acted and allowed to happen, and when there's light and when there's harmony, all three of those together create a vibrational frequency that we call love. We recognize that as love in motion. And when we see and feel that love in motion, we say that whatever it is that we're looking at is beautiful. So something is full of beauty, beautiful, when love is moving through it. And we know that when love is moving through something, that quality of expansion, light, and harmony are ever present and active. So we live in a universe designed to support and encourage an expansive way of life. And if we're not having that experience, it's through no fault of the design. The problem is our misunderstanding of the system and our misalignment with the very fabric of life itself. So, as I said, that family reunion was a paradigm changer for me. And a paradigm, we all operate under a paradigm. And it's a set of beliefs that we believe in. So it's what we believe to be true about life. And it doesn't, just because we believe it to be true, doesn't mean that it is true. So that's an important distinction, right? So perhaps your paradigm has been working for a long time. Or perhaps it isn't. You're not completely satisfied with every aspect of your life. And if you're not, that's just a clue that maybe some of the beliefs that you hold are ready to be released. Maybe they need to be adjusted or realigned with the higher truth. And another thing that I have personally discovered is that I can feel like my life is just flowing in a harmonious, expansive, light-filled way, and it works for a number of years, and then something changes. And so there's this tendency to look backwards, like trying to realign with what was in the past. And that doesn't work because remember, life is expansive. So that means that I'm just ready to have a different experience, a higher experience. And it's time for me to realign to a set of higher beliefs. So how is your paradigm working for you? Humanity as a whole has been operating under the paradigm of separation. Would you agree? And this is a set of beliefs that we're separate from the source of life itself. It's interesting, though, when we examine this paradigm, the paradigm of separation, these beliefs about separation, they really don't hold up. When we go all the way back to behind what I like to call the garments of life, when we look back to the very fabric of life, like what creates and supports and sustains all life, we hold that a paradigm of separation does not hold up. And the truth of existence begins to reveal itself. So it's important to know that this whole belief about separation can only exist in our mind, in our thinking. And that's something that all mystics throughout all the ages agree on. It can only exist in our mind. And let's see here. And that's why it's important to know that the reality that comes from separation is often referred to as an illusion. You've heard that. So when we say reality with a little r, this physical experience that we're having is an illusion. And it's because our minds, in that paradigm of separation, we are creating an illusion. So our minds are actually designed to reinforce separation, and it could never decipher the non-separation or oneness of reality because our minds are actually a product of separation. Have you ever thought about that? That our ability to use our mind is actually a result of a belief in separation. So the assumptions that our mind is going to make based on our experience can only interpret life in terms of separation, and it can only reinforce that. And so that's where direct experience comes in. Direct experience is different. And so how do we have direct experience? What is direct experience, or the medium of direct experience? And we say that it's when we experience our existence as it's happening in the moment without our minds interpreting and feeding us a lot of information. So direct experience with existence happens when we're aware and focused in the moment, and we're aware, we're just right in that very present moment, and our mind isn't giving us a lot of chatter. Our mind isn't interpreting everything. So that's easier to say than to do. Would you agree?
Yes.
And so with that family reunion, sometimes it just takes a house full of 18 people to shut your mind down. Your mind has to just kind of like go on strike or give up. Or you have to have trained your mind to be able to rest and not provide all of that feedback and that chatter. So as awareness, so when we talk about awareness, there's a lot of words that we could say. We could say divine, loving intelligence. We could say God, the fabric of life, the sea of awareness. Wallace Wattles at the turn of the century called it the thinking stuff. So this energy and this energetic vibration that permeates every single molecule in the universe is intelligent, and it's one, and we're a part of that. And when we are able to be aware that we are a part of the sea of awareness, that we exist in the sea of awareness, when we are consciously aware, and when we know that our thoughts, our actions, everything that we do affects this sea of awareness, or the fabric of life, we say that that is more of a direct experience than just letting our minds give us a lot of chatter. So, living from a unified paradigm. So we talked about the paradigm of separation, and now if we focus on living from a unified paradigm, or, Gail spoke last week, I believe here, and he spoke on the golden age. So a time when our vibrational frequency would be higher. So as we embody that higher frequency, we begin to live from a unified paradigm, a oneness paradigm. And that's actually our default setting. It's actually the most basic substance that you can go back to. And when we meditate, when we take time and we examine consciousness, going all the way back, we always get back to that unified sea of awareness that's existing all of the time. So just imagine for one moment an energy source that's so pervasive, so complete, that it is the entirety of existence. Nothing else exists but that one energy source. Everything is it. So literally wherever we look, there it is. And we call this the sea of awareness, or divine loving intelligence. A lot of words have been used to describe this all-encompassing energy source. So the deal is we walk around inside these bodies, and it seems though we're perceiving from the inside out. Do you recognize that feeling? Like we're perceiving on the inside out, and we see these bodies, and we say, there it is, that's proof that I'm separate. Right? Very rarely do we question that, and that's what's important. Very rarely do we stop and ask ourselves if what we're thinking is true. So if you think of like the wheel of life, you've heard that term, and if we're always focused on where the rubber meets the road on that wheel, so that's a bumpy ride, isn't it? That's it's spinning rapidly, and it's all kinds of potholes and bumps and cracks that we're going over. So if our attention is focused there, we're going to have one experience. But if our attention instead is in the center, in the axle area, where it's not, that part that's not spinning, we're going to have a completely different perspective, and we're going to view life in a completely different way. When we're focused on that outer rim and the road, we get mesmerized. Thoughts are coming so fast that it's like hypnotic. Have you ever had that experience, just sitting in front of your TV, watching a soap opera or a reality show, and you just get so drawn into it that you lose touch a little bit with really what is real in your life? We've all had that experience, probably. So regardless of what we think or believe, there is this sea of awareness, this divine loving intelligence that is always present, ever present, and it's constant and it's completely stable. Everything goes into it, it comes out, arises out, and it dissolves back into this sea of awareness. So you could think of yourself as like a wave. The waves come out of the ocean, but then they go right back into the ocean. Babies have awareness, but enlightened people have conscious awareness. And so while babies are in the sea of awareness, they're not conscious that they're a part of the sea of awareness. So to be enlightened or to be continuously conscious is to know at the very same time, to know that you are part of the sea of awareness, that you are the sea of awareness itself, and to know that your intentions and your thoughts and actions affect the whole. And then with that understanding, you're actually able to receive feedback. So when those three things are happening at the same time, we say that you are consciously aware, that you are enlightened. So here's the $1 million question. How do we go from awareness to conscious awareness? How do you move over to being fully conscious each and every moment of the day? And so to do this, we actually, to be able to look at awareness and develop conscious awareness, we have to have a viewpoint that seems like it's separate, that it's outside. And then when we have that viewpoint, that vantage point, we can look back at the sea of awareness, and that's how we actually become more consciously aware. So think of it as if we're like a wave, we rise up out of the ocean and we look back and we see the sea of awareness. And so we know that that's what we are, and we see that we're a wave right now, but we know that we're going to be going back into that wave. So that's the best way I can think of to describe using the whole paradigm of separation to our advantage as a way of becoming more consciously aware. And mystics will tell you that that's the purpose of life here, and that that's the only value to having a paradigm of separation, is so that you can become more consciously aware of what and who we are, and the beauty and the magnificence that that is us. So in enlightenment, or other words are like unified consciousness or continuous conscious awareness, in every moment we know that we are that sea of awareness. It never leaves you. And we're aware that we can drop things in the form of our thoughts, our intentions into that sea of awareness, and that it is duty bound to bring them forth, to manifest them. Every single thing you drop into the sea of awareness comes into being. And so think about that family reunion I had. I dropped that intention in, and I didn't have to call up my daughters and say, hey, I want to do this. The sea of awareness took care of it for me in a beautiful, non-stressful way. So those three elements exist at the same time in enlightenment. We're the same substance doing all of those things. We are the sea of awareness, or we are divine loving intelligence, and we have a creative aspect to ourselves. We're able to drop intentions into this awareness, and they're duty bound to come about. And then we're able to get some feedback from that to let us know if that intention was in alignment. Because it's like we're walking around with a laboratory, these physical beings, and sometimes we're going to drop things in that maybe are not completely in alignment. And so if we're conscious, if we're paying attention, we'll get signals and feedback that that's not quite in alignment, and we can change our thoughts, change our intentions. So this field of connectivity, awareness bestows, means that whatever we believe and think is going to be manifest, and it's going to affect all of us. So the energy in this room today is a certain vibrational frequency because of all of us that are here present. And on a different Sunday with a different group, it could be different, right? What one of us does affects the whole. So why is this important? So what? Why is it important for us to realize this and to become more consciously aware? And it's because once we do get it and we experience it, there's really nothing stopping us from creating the world, the humanity that we really do want to see, that we hold in our hearts. And I really do mean nothing. Fear and doubt cannot be present with this kind of an awareness and understanding. When we're consciously aware, fear and doubt cannot endure. In fact, that whole impulse of fear arises when there's not understanding. So a lack of understanding is what allows that impulse to surface. So as soon as we have experiences where we really start to experience, so not just know in our mind, but actually experience how this connectivity works and how the sea of awareness, so like that family reunion, it starts to build up like a magnetism. It starts to draw us and pull us in ever stronger ways until it just becomes natural. Have any of you had that experience where you felt that? And so once that starts happening, the pull gets even stronger and the magnetism grows. And under those circumstances, we feel satisfied. We feel full. We feel complete. We feel expansive. We feel the beauty and grace that exists in the universe. And we know that as human beings, we are no exception. So I like to think of being human in these terms. To be human is to be beauty, grace, and freedom of awareness in matter, in physical form. So you might be wondering, this is a question I had, if we are all awareness and everything is made from awareness, what is it doing in matter? Why would it want to be in matter? And so this is the quick answer to that. As awareness enters matter, the slower frequencies of matter, so matter vibrates at a different frequency than spirit, it causes an illusion of forgetting. Anybody here have issues with forgetting? Yeah, we all do. And as we remember who we are while we're in this matter, we actually enlighten matter. So have you ever thought of that? As we remember while we're in these physical bodies, we are enlightening matter. Consciousness is the light of awareness. And our consciousness gives the nature of awareness, the sea of awareness, full access to matter. So we could say that consciousness is the in-seeing ability to know itself. And consciousness is a form of light. So that really changes everything for me. Like when I go back and I read Genesis, let there be light, and all of the references to light. And you think of light in terms of not only lighting, but consciousness. So we're bringing consciousness into matter. And there's an old Sufi story that they tell that's been told for centuries. And it's really a cherished, loved story. And in it says, and this is God speaking, or Allah, or divine loving intelligence, the sea of awareness. These words are coming from that source. I was a hidden treasure, and I desired. I lovingly longed and hungered to be known. So I created the world, to which I made myself known, so that I would be known. So I love those words. The Dalai Lama says that the whole purpose of life is to embody the transcendent. To embody the transcendent. And that means to be in a body, my true being. To be consciously aware of what I am naturally. And what am I? What are we? I am, we are awareness. We are one with all that is known by many names. Source, divine mind, God, divine loving intelligence, or simply awareness. We are one with all of this. So the purpose of life is bringing the light of conscious remembering to all that you are, all that you think, and all that you do. And this fulfills the purpose of life. And when this is our intention, to bring conscious awareness to everything that we do, think, feel, and are, you can be sure that satisfaction and that joy and fulfillment will follow. And so I believe that more than anything right now, humanity needs individuals who are consciously aware, who know who they are, and who are living life from that paradigm. So just think about it. A lot of times we think we need more legislation. We need more litigation. We need more domination, globalization, or mechanization, right? We think of those, we turn to those outside things to improve humanity, and how is it working? We don't need any of those things. We need conscious awareness. We need individuals who radiate conscious awareness because it magnetizes. So as we, Unity of Bremerton, as we become more consciously aware, there is a real attraction to that, and other people will want to become more consciously aware. And what will end up happening is that we will create a world just like that family reunion, where we'll individually know what we need to do in the present moment. We won't have to have authority figures over us that we have to vote for, and the whole body of people that we're dependent on. As a humanity, we'll all know that we have this ability to tap into source, and that we'll be told individually what is ours to do. And then we'll be able to create the world that we all hold in our hearts and that we're all envisioning. So in conclusion, I just want to remind you that you are a vast and beautiful being, each and every one of you. You are the sweetness of life itself. And you are a powerful transmitter of light and of love. You have access to all the information and secrets and mysteries that you need to do your part. So conscious awareness in the present moment is the way we enlighten matter. It's the way that we establish heaven on earth. And once we do, the earth will never be the same again. So I'd like to offer a meditation where we can actually practice and ground these principles, an opportunity to practice conscious awareness in the present moment. So I invite you to make sure that you're sitting comfortably, that your feet are flat on the floor in front of you. You're sitting up a little straighter. And just gently close your eyes and focus your attention within. So just for now, let go of any thoughts about your day and bring your attention to the present moment, right here, right now. Notice your breathing gently rising and falling. Feel how your focus on your breath welcomes a state of peace and serenity. Just become conscious that you are in a state of peace and serenity. That you have arrived fully in the present moment, and that your consciousness is fully available to explore within. Notice how your breath has a calming, peaceful effect. And the more that you just follow your breath, the more calm and peaceful you feel. Now notice that you are not directing the breath. It is coming and going of its own accord. And you do not need to work out how much breath you need. Something is taking care of your breath, maintaining the exact flow of oxygen. So notice that you are not so much breathing as being breathed. Without realizing it, something has been taking care of your breath for years, and we have noticed it not. It is a sea of awareness, ongoing, ever present, ever available. If I were to ask you, do you exist? You would say yes, of course. But if I were to say, how do you know you exist? You would say, it's obvious, I am here. Our existence is obvious, and for this reason, it is very familiar. It is so familiar, we have taken it for granted. We have overlooked the very thing that was making our existence possible. It is the sense of life. It is the source of life, patiently carrying out life in all its forms. It is existence itself, the medium in which all things exist. Notice the sea of awareness. And is it possible not to exist? Let's try. And we see that we cannot. It is a non-negotiable reality. When we notice the awareness that we are, we become conscious. What do we become conscious of? Our experience. So our experience is the conscious registering of our existence. So just notice that you are able to be conscious of your existence. Notice that you are able to register your experience. So you know your awareness by noticing your experience. When you sleep, do you cease to exist? No. You are the sea of awareness, taking care of breathing, taking care of the body. And when you wake, you become conscious of your awareness, and you start to have experience. So the sea of awareness continues whether you are conscious of it or not. And where does this awareness show up? In the present moment. So just notice the present moment. Try to exist outside of the present moment, even for 1 minute. We find that we cannot. Awareness can only exist in the present moment. So when we become conscious of the present moment, we are experiencing life as it is coming into being. And notice how the constancy of the present moment, how constant it is. Notice the stillness. Notice how reliable it is, ever present. Impossible to alter. It's beyond our control. It is a non-negotiable reality. And this is the medium of the sea of awareness. So the non-negotiable, ever-present moment allows our non-negotiable, ever-present awareness to exist. This is our existence. This is who we are. We are an ever-present sea of awareness. We are both ever-present and always present. So now notice that the present moment is not static. If it were, we would experience the same thing forever. This has an ability to allow change. So now notice both its constant nature and that it allows complete freedom within the moment. Notice that this mutability allows our consciousness to move around inside of our awareness. It allows our consciousness to register change in our experience. And this mutability, this stillness, is the stream of awareness. It is a moving stream, yet it is always in the present moment. So just notice the stream of awareness and be conscious. Be conscious awareness. And notice that this conscious awareness is not dependent on our age or ability or education. It's not something that we earn. We do not need to deserve it. It is not dependent on us being an earnest seeker. This is not something we get. This is something we are. It is a constant present, freely given in each moment, ever accessible, ever available, ever present, ever present. So become conscious of your state of being, and let the peace and the serenity of your being expand into the cells of your physical body until there is a harmonious continuum between your state of being and your physical body. Become conscious of where you are sitting. Become conscious of where you are. Allow the peace and the serenity of your being to move into the space around you. So take a deep breath in and keep your eyes closed and allow yourself to smile. And notice the sunshine that radiates from you when you smile. So allow your smile to send the sunshine of your being throughout your entire being and environment. The person that you were when we started this meditation is now gone. Become conscious of who you are now. Come into a conscious waking state as you are now, in perfect alignment, in perfect harmony, and take this being into life with you. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. I invite you to turn to your neighbor and re-inform them. I am light in matter.
Like the matter.